Some people are afraid of being watched as they work. I'm oblivious to it. Most of the time I'm in a little world of my own. I'm totally absorbed in what I do, and I'm oblivious to people around me. I had a very good art teacher, and it's that inspired me more than anything else. But I've always, enjoyed art, visual things. With art, there is no rights, no wrongs. I find it very relaxing, very therapeutic, and it keeps me out of mischief. I think we're very lucky that as artists we have people in the society who are prepared to give up their time and actually make these things happen. And I think that's tremendous. That's one of the perks of being in the society. Plus the monthly meetings are great because you get to meet and talk, and as I say, it's back to kindred spirits again.
For my membership, I get masses because I get whole access to a whole group of other people, like this wonderful exhibition that you can come and look at and see what they're doing, and people who will be sympathetic to you, how hard it is to do, because it is difficult. And then you've got the demonstrations and the workshops that you can go to. It is a wonderful society because it's really well supported, and they do have loads of events on. I like to choose a particular colour, like for instance this was the winter. The colour was instrumental because I wanted this sort of misty blue, because as I said, in areas of the lake it was actually frozen and the teal were walking on top, which I thought was just amazing.
This is the 57th year of the exhibition. We have something like 800 pieces here, which is probably the largest number of pieces that we've had over the years. We have 300 members, so you get a wide range of different kinds of paintings. We get 3D, we've got jewellery, all those kind of things. And when you've got that number of members, then you're able to put on an exhibition of this sort of variety. We've got people who come from Dudley, we've got people from Leicester, Worcester. Obviously the major proportion of the numbers of people that we have are fairly local, but they do come from quite a long way. And I think it just gives an indication of how wide our spread is and how people come to this exhibition and find out how good it is, and at the end of the day they'll come back and they'll want to join. It's very typical, the sort of thing that I paint. I called it Friends because you've got the two horses sort of nuzzling together. It's an acrylic, but it's an unusual type of acrylic. It's called chroma colour, which was the kind of colour that was used by the animators before you went into digital animation. And you used to make the features up and you'd flick the features, and this is the kind of colour that you get. What you tend to get with normal acrylic is that it goes very flat, and when you look at the colour when you painted it and you come down the next day, it's a completely different colour, so you don't quite get the same state. But when you're using chroma colour, what you get is a very vivid colour which stays like that. I tend to paint very quickly, I tend to paint very loosely. There's not an awful lot of detail really, other than it's all a matter of quick strokes on the page.
It's a very interactive, dynamic kind of society, which is, I think, what makes the whole thing fun. And it seems to celebrate a really diverse range of art. It's really exciting to have your pictures in the gallery, and I think the exhibition's been hung really well. I think the pieces that have been put alongside all the pieces I've put in, I feel happy that they complement each other, and I think that there's good space around the paintings as well. It's not cluttered, and they have got a bit of breathing space. I think they've done an excellent job. It makes you feel really proud to see your picture, as you've seen it in the studio knocking about for a few months, and then all of a sudden it's in its best, it's in Sunday best, for people to see in a good light. I generally work a lot bigger, so I would normally work on a canvas about 1 metre square, but for the exhibition we need to work a little bit smaller, which is a challenge. So I cut down the perspex and basically been dragging paint across and down, then working back into it with glazes, using oils. I struggle with acrylics with this because in order to get the paint to move and stay mobile, you can't really work with acrylic, it dries too quickly. Whereas the oils, you've got so much more opportunity to work back into it. There's so much to learn about colour theory, and that's something I find really interesting. So I try to stick to certain parts of the colour wheel and pick out a colour from the opposite side as well, just to bring the painting together. I don't start with a preconceived idea. It's very much a relationship between me and what's in front of me.
There's a monthly competition for artists that they want to enter. There are workshops which are not dependent upon a demonstrator. There are monthly demonstrations for all members to attend. The whole thing means that there's a very, very varied menu for members to actually be involved in. I think all of us, when we're putting work into an exhibition, we start off by thinking, what is it that the public will like? And that's a terribly difficult question to answer. The biggest problem, of course, is that people's tastes differ. You eventually reach a point where the only person you're trying to please is yourself. And that's what the artist does, they paint to please themselves. I'm not usually as dark as this painting is. And a lot of the paintings that I do are traditional ones, which landscape or holiday pictures or just somewhere that's particularly attractive or beautiful. The vast majority are very pleased to have their work here in the exhibition, and even more pleased when the public come round and say this is a great exhibition.
Art is my full-time profession. I exhibit in galleries and shops, and I also do other art events. So this is Magical Break Snowdonia. I love using gesso. It's a white textural medium which you apply using different tools and techniques. I'll even get kitchen knives and forks, whatever I fancy at the time. I also use papers beneath and then gessos over the top of that, and then build up my picture with washes of colour until I get the effects that I've wanted to achieve and create. It's just wonderful to be with such a variety of different artists. You've got people who are doing it more as a hobby, you've also got professional artists in here, so you've got a great mix. It's great being a steward because you can come in and you can actually appreciate and have more time as well to look at everybody's work. It's also lovely to meet people and talk to people and the visitors, and of course the other artists that are stewards, you know, you get a chance to catch up with them too.
It's the beginnings of a piece called A Storm in the Teacup, and it's a series of sculptures that I'm doing to do with old wives' fables or tales or sayings, made out of all sorts of materials. Anything I can lay my hands on, really. From sticky back plastic to tin foil. I've always been a sculptor because I'm colourblind, and when I do paintings they turn out really peculiar. So yeah, that's why I just enjoy sculpting. I love sculpting. Now we have newsletters on the internet. We can remain in constant touch with one another. There's some really great, good people working with, you know, bringing it up to the standards of today, do you know what I mean? And so meeting other people in that same field, it makes a big difference.
It's gone brilliantly, absolutely brilliant. There are so many people who've come along and been positive about it. You know, saying about the space, the light, and the painters we've got are amazing, absolutely amazing. Most of the people who have actually bought pieces of work have actually a local. I think it's been amazing. Just from the fact that so many people have put this exhibition together. We've had a laugh, we've enjoyed it, and it's just been great fun.